And he comes in with this marvellous idiosyncratic approach, hurtles to the crease in the last couple of steps, full ball clipped into the onside, straight to short mid-wicket. Do you look at this action, Stephen Finn, and think, how is he still in one piece?
I look at it and think, yeah, how on earth is he still able to walk around normally? And then also I look at it and I think that I don't know how I would get my body to do the same thing. It's just, I think the interesting thing about Jasprit Bumrah is his release point. So like all of the things that go on before.
He's in again, it's full on off stump, just worked on the front foot up to mid-on, there's no run again.
He releases the ball closer to the batter than anyone else in the world. So where a normal bowler would deliver the ball, and I would consider myself a normal bowler, I deliver the ball directly over the top of my front foot. So the line that my front foot is from side on, the ball is released from my hand,
which is about the crease.
In a line with that from the crease, yes.
Yeah.
Whereas
here is Bumrah all taped up. And what a shot that is! Just nothing more than a punch down the ground. I think it's gone all the way for 6. It was not a poor ball. It didn't feel like a long half volley, but Seifert picked up the length immediately and with perfect timing has just done no more than a perfectly timed push over the bowler's head for 6. Wow. Oh,
that's a wonderful shot. It just extends his arms and holds the pose for the pleasure as well. And that has hit the boundary rope on the full by the looks of things. I would imagine that the third umpire is going to conclude that has gone for me. That's 6. He can have 6 there. It was a nice shot. And Rod Tucker is going to make his signal any second now, and he's given a 4, which is why I'm not an umpire as well. I blame the quality of this TV that's in front of us. Others would blame my eyes, but I'm happy to split the difference.
I thought it was close enough. Bumrah in, forward, in defence. Comes Seifert. He's not going to get a run for it. Bumrah didn't field that off his own bowling particularly well, but are they going to get an overthrow? No, they're not going to get an overthrow. Sorry, you were saying Bumrah's release point.
His release point is, I think it's 20 centimetres beyond his front foot. And now this is getting very cricket technically, but he bowls with such a braced leg and with his weight so far over the top of his foot, and his arm releases the ball out in front of him. So what is coming at you at 140 kilometres an hour is also, is also coming to you from 20 centimetres closer, which is why he looks like he hurries so many people.
Here he is once more. Oh, that's full, and that's been driven aerially over long off. That'll be 1 bounce 4. No need to check that one. This is some lovely timing, delicious timing from Tim Seifert, who has taken to Jasprit Bumrah. Not very many people do take to Jasprit Bumrah for all the reasons that Stephen Finn is saying. It's this business of getting your trigger movements right. When a bowler bowls with such an idiosyncratic action, and I've just seen from side on exactly what you meant there. So you see if you watch him from side on, listen to what Stephen says there. The arm is extended beyond the crease. On the pads, worked away, fine-ish down to long leg for a single. Expensive over, a couple of boundaries in that. Delhi Capital's good start continues at 21 without loss after 2.
Yeah, and that highlights the point that it is difficult for seamers on this wicket. Even someone who's as good as Jasprit Bumrah there has been took for 9 in his first over, hit over his head a couple of times by Tim Seifert, who looks in a lovely touch, reaching 18 from 9 deliveries, but certainly Delhi Capitals have made the early inroads into this target that they would have liked. Again, it's going to be interesting to see how soon and when the Mumbai Indians introduce their spinners to the attack, as you feel as though they may be the ones that can turn the screw and put the batters under pressure. But for the time being, whilst Seamer's bowling with a brand new ball and the grass on the wicket, it looks like Shaw and Seifert are going to have some fun.
So tell me, how does Sussex use Timal Mills? Because, of course, Mills is playing in this game, and we've had 3 bowlers used so far, or about to have. Basil Thampi is coming into the attack, one of the more deliciously named players in the IPL, isn't it? Superb. Is there a guy who used to play, was it for Loughborough, called Basil? Oh, someone remind me. It was a brilliant name. It's Basil something or other. It was a university player, played quite recently. Basil Akram, I think it might be. Forward and pushed up to mid-on comes Seifert, just leaning on that delivery. It is Basil Akram. He made one appearance in the limited overs match, but he continued to represent Loughborough MCCU, where he played a total of 6 first-class games.
Nice.
Got some runs as well, did Basil?
Good on it.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's up to now.
I wonder what he's up to.
He might be listening to this if he's doing nothing, lying in bed on a Sunday morning.
Hello, welcome,
Afternoon.
Basil.
Yeah.
If you're joining us.
Or if there are any other Basils listening, rather. I like your name.
Yeah. We'll do Basil shout-out hour. Thampy in. Again, Seifert goes after it. Goes aerial once more. Doesn't time it anything like as well. And it's just going to be hauled back a yard, a foot maybe, inside the boundary by one of those rare things, a non-despairing dive. Jamal Mills, who's pulled it off. And he's just managed to claw that back. They will take a look at this because his arm and body were pretty close to the boundary sponge, but I think... is there a little bit of finger still on the ball? I think he might be all right. We're just having the obligatory numerous looks at this. Where are you going?
It's good enough for me. He saved the runs there. My county compatriot, Jamal Mills.
It's a good effort for a guy who's, got a bit of a back issue, or has had.
Well, he hasn't anymore. He's just stretched it out lovely there. He's twisted himself up like a contortionist.
But he saved the run by the looks of things. But I want to get back to when would we expect to see him come on? Because when would Sussex use him in the power play?
I think, he'd bowl 1 or 2 in the power play and then a couple at the end, I think.
Thampy is into Prithvi Shaw, who waits and just defends. Back over length ball, back at the wicket to Thampy. That's a nice, hard, aggressive length, keeping Shaw stuck on the back foot. 24 without loss.
Perfect line and length, over the top of middle and off. Not short enough to pull, not full enough to drive. It means that Prithvi Shaw has to take a monumental risk to try and hack that away for some runs, which brings you into the game as a bowler. So the longer the longer period of time that you can live in that area as a bowler at this stage of a game and make the batters take risks, you're a good chance of taking wickets.
I like your thinking. We've also had a suggestion from Jack Rule, which is marvellously nonsensical. I'm going to give it to you after this ball.
Okay.
Thampy in, no slips in, pulled by Shaw in the air, out over deep mid-wicket, and it's going to go, I think, all the way. Is that just crept over the boundary sponge? That's the danger with that length. If Shaw's waiting for it, he just transfers the weight back, whacks it over deep mid-wicket for 6.
It didn't look that short, but he's a little man, Prithvi Shaw. Gets deep in his crease. I mean, Tim Seifert's not a tall man, and he's shorter than Tim Seifert, so back in his crease and just gets the elevation. There's no deep mid-wicket out there on the boundary. We see the ball clearly land the opposite side of the rope to the fielders and the umpires. The umpire can now raise his arms aloft above his head to signal the 6 as the crowd cheer. And Prithvi Shaw moves on to 7 from 5 deliveries with a lovely shot.
It was a lovely shot, 6. You're right. It wasn't as short as he made that shot look, but
no.
It was a similar length to the one he defended from the crease. But I suppose if he's waiting for it, he can maybe adjust. He waits again. Thampy bowls fuller, slower outside the off stump. It's guided to backward point along the ground. There's no run. Jack Rule has suggested a novel suggestion for the IPL schedule. 2 groups of teams. One group labelled A to E, other group labelled 1 to 5. Then you have 10 rounds of games. You have the teams picked out of a hat by former pros. Can't be any more confusing than the current schedule.
Well, yeah, my head's spinning here trying to get a grip of how this may play out. But, cricket every day, who can complain?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. Sometimes twice a day.
Frequently twice.
Frequently twice a day. And given the way England are performing out in the West Indies, it might make up for a bit of a lack of cricket over the next couple of days. Last ball of the over, pushed it to the offside, wanted a single. Seifert, he's sent back. Throw comes in, hits the stumps. But Seifert, I'm pretty sure, was home. End of the over. Delhi Capitals 30 without loss after 3. They made a good start, yep. As opposed to England in this Test match, Stephen Finn. It's almost like they are making a concerted effort to consign the phrase "could be worse" to history, because it's hard to know. You were out in Australia for the Ashes, which was arduous.
I'd say the only thing I would say about it, that was arduous. It was, a nice time, but watching the cricket wasn't that pleasant. They have had opportunities to win the games in the first 2 games and not grasped those opportunities through, I think, stoic batting by the West Indies in the second Test match, and the weather and other things scuppered them in the first Test match. But yeah, I certainly think that this collapse, it's almost been indicative of the way England have played in the last few years, isn't it? The collapse that's led to their downfall, or imminent downfall, you'd have to say, in this current Test match now. But yeah, they are making a good job of consigning that phrase to history.
They are rather. And well, before they play a Test match again, there'll be a new managing director. There'll be, you would imagine, a new permanent coach. Will there be a new captain?
Well, that question's on everyone's lips today, isn't it? Certainly. It wasn't 4 days ago, but now it is.
Murugan Ashwin is going to the attack. His leg spinner, and his first delivery lands on a round middle stump. Is defended by Seaford on the front foot back to the bowler. And there's no run. So 4 different bowlers in 4 different overs so far. Ringing the changes is Rohit Sharma. Short. Oh, thick edge. Bounces off the gloves of Kishan behind the stumps there. Technically a chance, but it came flying off that outside edge, I'm pretty sure, and that's just, well, it's luck. Your gloves have basically got to be there, and they got to snatch it, because there's about a foot between bat and wicketkeeper there, and it was a sizable deflection. It wasn't just a thin edge. He gets away with it. Dot ball as it rolled out to the offside. Ashwin in once more. Shaw bowled him! That's a wonderful bit of bowling. The ball scurries off the pitch. Just bowled that a little bit faster, and it slid on, or whether it was an actual googly, it has slid off the pitch. And Seaford had gone back into his stumps, was beaten by the pace off the pitch as much as anything else, and the stumps have been splayed like a hillbilly's teeth. He goes, Seaford's gone for 21. They lose their first wicket.
They do. It's wonderful bowling from Ashwin. It was a googly, and the ball before Seifert going back and cutting, looking for the same length and trajectory there. But clever bowling from the bowler, recognising that Seifert would look for that again to latch on that width, but with the googly and the shape coming into the batter, cramps him for ruin and cannons into leg stump, and as Dan so eloquently put, splays those stumps sideways and sends Seifert back to the pavilion for 21 runs. Delhi Capitals, again, the introduction of spin in the second innings is proving very influential in stemming the flow of runs. The seamers have found it really hard work today. With 3 balls of spin in this innings, 2 dots and a wicket.
It's a bit quicker as well, wasn't it? I mean, I got the feeling with Kuldeep, who bowled well, but his pace is a little bit slower on this surface. Murugan Ashwin there, he just, well, I don't know whether it's an optical illusion, but it felt like it just...
He's a taller man as well, isn't he, Ashwin, I feel, and that angle of bowling it into the wicket, almost like an Anil Kumble, for it to go up out of a tall man's hands, to get up and then down again, to look normal, I think would be strange. So maybe his height and the tallness of his action gives the optical illusion that it's quicker, when maybe it's not that much quicker, whereas the left-arm leg spinner is a much smaller man.
Right, new bats. Mandeep Singh's at the crease, and he waits for this, pushes the ball back in the direction of the bowler, who does well to move to his left to field off his own bowling. Now, I was talking earlier about the great Erica Morris, who's written this marvellous thread for us, and I'm not sure that I gave you the rundown on Delhi's batting.
No.
As seen by her, so I'm going to find that. Oh, full toss, that can happen. He's taken a wicket with it. Would you believe that? A hideous ball that slipped out of Murugan Ashwin's hand has flown around about waist height, but perhaps a little bit lower, maybe high thigh height. Mandeep Singh's eyes lit up. He's looked to whack it out of the park, and instead he's just slapped it on the sort of bottom half of the bat, really, straight to mid-on, where Tilak Varma takes the catch. And suddenly, Delhi Capitals have lost 2, or have they? Because they're going to have a little check on this for height. Has it got above waist height or not? Frankly, I don't think it deserves to be a wicket.
No, it doesn't. It's a disgusting piece of cricket, you'd have to say. There is nothing pleasant about what we've seen there whatsoever. The ball, the shot, the umpires are conferring in the middle of the wicket. The batter's almost just refusing to walk off at the moment.
He's horrified by his experience, I think.
Well, I think that's a fair delivery. You deserve to go if you're hitting that straight to mid-on. I mean, I'd back Diana Finn, my mum, to hit that for 4 or 6, and I think if you're batting at number 3 in the IPL, you deserve to go. And Rod Tucker gives him the finger and sends him back to the pavilion.
I think, I might even back Toby Tarrant to hit that one.
No, let's not push it. Let's really, really not push it.
What a horrible way to go. And actually, if you looked at it from side on, it probably was just a little bit below waist height, but he'd also advanced. So at the point of his interception, you're just pointing out Ricky Ponting's
he looks as though
disgusted face.
Looks as though someone's inserted an entire hive of bees into his mouth and he's sat there chewing them.
Well, Rishabh Pant has suddenly got to come out and face. 4 balls ago, Delhi Capitals were going swimmingly, and Tim Seifert was timing the ball beautifully, hitting the ball to all parts. The introduction of Mandeep Singh, he bowled a beauty to get rid of Seifert, and he's bowled a wretched pie to get rid of Mandeep. 30 for 2. So, yes, Erica Morris, I was telling you about earlier, she's written this marvellous thread on every team and their batting and bowling strengths. And she says about the Delhi Capitals, in terms of strike rate, there are the likes of Warner, who's obviously not playing here because of Australia's commitments in Pakistan, Shaw and Punt, who average 145 plus, but the averages are on the low side, the highest being Warner. A lot of players are going to need to up their averages for DC to score big, and she has a point. I say Rodman Powell is probably the unknown quantity here, though, isn't he? We've seen what he could do against England, that incredible 100. Was it 100, wasn't it, in the T20?
I think it was, yeah.
And, so we'll see how he takes to IPL. He's carded to come in next. We shall see about that. Murugan Ashwin might be about to bowl a Dwaden, a double wicket maiden, in the power play here. Slip is in. The left-handed punt on strike, comes forward and works the ball into space on the onside, through mid-wicket, along the ground, out to the fielder, running in from the boundary. He gets off the mark. It's not a Dwaden. It's 31 for 2. I think I might just have made up Dwaden.
No, it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, it's what happens when you're in the confines of a small box together. You start to get mildly delirious and make up words, but we can make it work. It's a shame, actually. I like a maiden, and I'm sure the Indian crowd don't enjoy a maiden out there, especially. Although it would be for the Mumbai Indians, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you think in Mumbai they would be happy.
Well, they have a Maidan where they play loads and loads of cricket, so they're probably quite nicely disposed towards the Maidan. Yeah. I mean, I'm really pushing it now.
Yeah. We flogged a very, very dead horse there. It was on the brink of it, and then we've just tipped it over the edge. But
hey, here we go. Do you want to introduce him?
No, you go. It's your job. It's the 4th over.
It's our man who's done plenty of work with us on the BBL and actually the IPL when he was injured. Timar Mills, formerly of Essex, now Sussex, and of the Mumbai Indians. So it is the 5th bowler in 5 overs. He's replacing Basil Thampi. And he's going to bowl left arm to left arm. A slip is in. Rishabh Pant faces down the leg side. That'll be given as a wide, unless I don't think there was a little brush. There wasn't. There's no brush on leg, so 1 more to the total. 32 for 2, but how quickly T20 cricket can change. Delhi Capitals have got off to that very impressive start. And then 2 wickets in an over. And suddenly it looks very different indeed.
So your outlook as a bowling team, even if you are going around the park, is just hunt wickets, especially early. It stems the flow of runs so significantly.
Mills in short, that's slapped in the air, high, down towards point, gone! Backward point takes the catch. Mills has got a wicket with his first legitimate delivery. It was short and wide outside off stump, and it's a huge wicket. It's the wicket of Rishabh Pant, and Ricky Ponting has now had another hive of bees inserted into their mouth. He looks absolutely sick. He can't understand what's happened, and the Delhi Capitals are imploding. They've lost 3 wickets in 5 balls. They're 32 for 3.
Yeah, there's a bit of an overcorrection there from Timar Mills, but hits the track hard. Rishabh Pant, as Rishabh Pant does, won't hold back when he sees an opportunity to try and score runs, and Timar Mills pumping the air with his fist, his first legitimate delivery in the IPL. gets rid of the danger man, the biggest wicket in this Delhi Capitals team, Rishabh Pant, as now Rovman Powell, who's carded to come in at number 5, will come in and face the music, it seems, unless there's a change to the batting order.
Oh, it's quite a time to have to come in and make your IPL bow for the Delhi Capitals, isn't it? 32 for 3. There was about 7 minutes ago, he was sat there very comfortably doing a Sudoku, you know. And now he's had to. Well, I don't say he's rushed to get his pads on. In T20, top 6 have all got pads on.
I'm not sure there's many Sudokus done, but by people who play in T20 teams around the world. Count the number of puzzles on one hand, you'd imagine, but it's not Rovman Powell.
It isn't Rovman Powell, is it? So maybe it's Lalit. It's Lalit Yadav who's come in. I wonder if that's a change because we're in the power play or because those 3 wickets have gone so quickly.
Potentially, I think because they have had a relatively good start up to this point. They've got runs on the board, so they're going to have to rebuild the innings here. If they lose too many more wickets in a hurry, then that really does kill the chase. But here, Delhi Capitals have to take this as deep as possible, as deep as they possibly can in the run chase to give themselves a chance. So they'd imagine that they'll save Rovman Powell for his ability to clear the ropes towards maybe the back end of the innings, and hoping that Lalit here can set them some sort of platform for him to capitalise on when it comes to it.
Well, what have we got? A slip, a kind of short third, point extra mid-off on the offside, as Mills is going to be running that ball across the right-handed Lalit Yadav. And his first delivery is short again, and that's nicely guided down to deep backward point on the bounce, where Daniel Sams does the fielding. He's off the mark straight away, Lalit Yadav. So Timor Mills, purveyor of the slower ball, the slower short ball that he bowls is one of the more tricky deliveries that I've
Well, it
seen.
is, because you have to be on your guard, because he bowls so quick, 90 odd miles an hour. You're there thinking, if it's banged in short here, my head is in a bit of trouble.
play.
So you feel as though you could be heading it at some stage, but when it comes out slow, you just threw the shot so quick.
Here he is, short down the leg side. That's a poor ball, and that's been helped on its way, and it's been helped all the way for 6 by Prithvi Shaw. That was banged in, but there was just too much latitude. It was too wide down the leg side, and all Prithvi Shaw had to do was get bat on it and send it up and over fine leg that's inside the circle and pick up 6.
Yeah, it's a nice shot. Much as we saw Rohit Sharma just help the ball on its way earlier, and the atmosphere and the hardness of the ball plus the smallness of the boundary means that it flies for 6, and with the pace that Tamal Mills bowls at, Prithvi Shaw just has to literally help that on its way over fine leg for 6.
Mills in, slip still there, full, driven straight up to mid-off along the ground, and there is no run. He's got this very idiosyncratic, very, very Millsian approach when he comes running in. It's a little bit like what Aggers used to commentate on, the dressage horses. It's like a little dancing horse before he really gets into his work.
Yep.
We've seen some weird actions here. We've got Jasprit Bumrah doing his stiff-legged odd thing.
Yep.
And we've got Timor Mills with the little putting the hooves up. I'm trying to think how you'd describe it.
There we go. A hop, skip, a little skip, and we're off.
He's in to the right-handed Shaw, who chops down on this and guides the ball to a very square point fielder, just backward to square. Daniel Sams, one more to the total, 40 for 3. Just coming to the end of the 5th over, as Stephen Finn has said, scoring rate is not at the moment the issue, but the issue is 3 wickets that fell in 5 legitimate deliveries that have completely stalled this run chase, you would say. And a lot's going to depend now on Prithvi Shaw, you would think, anchoring the innings. Mills is in. There's the first skip, and then the second. He then picks up pace and runs in, and Lalit Yadav just guides a wide ball to backward point. End of the over. 5 have gone. A wicket in that over, as well as 8 runs, including that massive 6 from Shaw. Delhi Capitals chasing 178 to win. They're 40 for 3, Shaw 14. Lalit Yadav has 1. Take up ball-by-ball commentary. There will be Stephen Finn, and he will be joined for the next 5 overs by Atif Nawaz.
Thank you, Daniel. Tamal Mills, a successful first over in IPL cricket 2022, as he walks back, puts his sun hat on, mops his brow with a towel, places his sunglasses on his head and reflects on a good first over's work. One delivery from two Prithvi Shaw being lifted for 6. The rest impressive, changed his pace as he's so well known for. The Delhi Capitals here 40 for 3 off the first 5 overs. 1 ball of the power play, 1 over, of the power play left. Prithvi Shaw is on strike and Ashwin is bowling again, the leg spinner. He approaches the crease. It's full of a length and hits straight to mid-on, who's inside the ring. Good afternoon, Atif.
Yeah, good afternoon. It's poised to be quite an exciting match, isn't it? Because they've lost 3 wickets for sure, and Mumbai is sort of on top, but the scoring rate is right there.
It is, and they're going to have to keep this momentum.